A sudden, dramatic revelation that the move by the land minister and King Misuzulu to suspend the Ingonyama Trust Board has sent tremors across the country. It lands as a sharp, high-impact moment, immediately hinting at a deeper institutional storm and raising questions about how one decision can disrupt land governance for millions. The tease that follows makes it clear that viewers are about to enter a layered story of political calculation, cultural authority, legal gray zones, and high-stakes land control. It signals that the video will expose not only the surface conflict, but also a surprising payoff, one that reveals who truly stands to benefit if the board collapses or reshapes itself entirely. Before the 40-second mark, the engagement spark challenges viewers with a provocative reflection. What if the power to decide how your ancestral land is managed suddenly shifted hands without your consent? This gentle shock draws them in emotionally and pushes them to comment, react, and mentally participate. The story then unfolds into its 18 main blocks. It begins with an exploration of how a simple administrative communication triggered a political earthquake, setting off a chain of maneuvers between the land minister's office and King Misuzulu's inner circle. The narrative then shifts into the lived reality of ordinary Zulu communities, painting a picture of how unexpected changes at the trust board could alter land access, housing security, and cultural identity overnight. Attention turns to the structural contradictions inside the trust board itself, revealing how its legal responsibilities and cultural expectations rarely align. This naturally transitions into the king's reaction, framed as a vivid scenario showing how his advisors interpreted the potential suspension as a direct strike at Zulu sovereignty. To bring emotional depth, the story momentarily narrows into a villager's personal reflection on how the trust board's decisions have shaped everyday life in rural homesteads. That emotional shift gives way to a thought-provoking question about whether government intervention can genuinely strengthen land governance, or whether it risks weakening local autonomy. The story deepens further with a revelation about the dual realities of the trust's finances, its valuable assets versus the controversies around leases. Insights from governance experts enter the narrative next, exposing blind spots and long-standing failures that make reform both necessary and controversial. At the midpoint, the video pauses for a natural call to action, inviting viewers to reflect on who should hold authority over communal land and encouraging them to subscribe or comment before the story intensifies. The second half opens with fresh energy, describing the internal fractures within the king's advisory structures and the political risks they generate. The timing of the suspension attempt becomes a story of its own, hinting that the pressure was not accidental but aligned with strategic national politics. A short, compelling community-level story then reveals the emotional and administrative tension felt by local leaders caught between tradition and state instruction. This sets up an examination of mistakes embedded in older land policies, errors that now collide head-on with customary practice. The outline then shifts into the future, showing how emerging trends like hybrid governance models and digital land tracking systems could reshape power balances. Expert perspectives help illuminate how previous battles over the trust have historically redefined authority, creating patterns the current crisis seems poised to repeat. Beneath all this, an unexpected twist emerges: the influence of quiet but powerful business interests that gain from instability. As the narrative moves toward its climax, it delivers a sharp dual-fact punch about how two opposing forces, political ambition and cultural guardianship, continue to collide over one core asset: land. The final block before the ending explores the potential consequences if the Ingonyama Trust Board were to dissolve entirely, leaving viewers with a sense of urgency and unresolved tension. The wrap-up ties together the fragile balance between government policy, traditional authority, and community expectations. It leaves viewers with a forward-looking tease, hinting at deeper economic forces behind land governance that will be explored in a future episode.